The Rococo style is the quintessence drawn from the Para period but is more liberal and extravagant, no longer following the rules is in haste the reveries and spirit beauties from the previous period time, conveying a characteristic joyful feeling of peace, especially attention to the sophisticated and complicated content of his words is always compared to a haute couture outfit because it is sophistications engaged as a phenomenon between 1730 to 1770 that first appeared in French and spread out to the rest of Europe, including England, Austria, Germany, and Russia. Cocos is a combination of broccoli shells in French and pericles in Italy. At the time, its exceptions is received much criticism from critics because it's considered shallow and plain bohemian art. Let's continue to the art. First about the artists. Franken cultures, whose are especially interesting in the vastness and complexity of the content. His works are always referred to a haute couture customers because they show significations and certifications. The word topic revolution around playful themes, festival themes, parties held in the garden, and other activities. Certifications in every detail, elegant pastel color palette, significantly influenced by the broccoli stylisms. Cartoons, asymmetrical curves, the winding lines of the halo, regularly towards do not follow certain rules and lays out stylizations of natures. Big inspirations from nature's seaside waves or oceans, using leaf motifs in the work, wines and styles of selling with polished leaf motifs. The Rococo interior design emerged from a brief period of French history called the Regency. About interior design, the Rococo style characteristics of interior design include a palette of pastel colors, spandentines or snake-like patterns, a symmetrical design, naturalistic motifs such as flowers, vine, rocks, pebbles, and seashells in ornamentations, decorative metals, furniture made from mahogany, beech or walnut, mirrors that create an inclusion of expanded space. The influence of French furnitures were predominant in Europe during the 18th centuries. In the second half of the century, England played a leading role in establishing the neoclassical style, and for extreme craftsmanship provide an inspiration to workshop in several countries. But in the first of the two styles, the Rococo and the neoclassical, French design were universally imitated with very degrees of success. Sicilian Rococo furniture tended to be highly unusual and even though was based on the principles of French Rococo designs, usually included some traditional Sicilian elements. Sicilian tables were often painted presenting typical elements of Sicilian culture, society and life, such as festival, fruit, and Sicilian car. Such elements made Sicilian Rococo design furniture relative unusual in comparison to some other types. Journal Rococo was also highly unusual in style. The Journal Rococo's interior designers were famous for making grand beds and chairs. Journal armchairs were similar to the French photos, but often had a wider, more exaggerated back and good wood, and included intensely rich fabric such as silk and velvet. Rome remained possibly the most conservative city in Italy, and noblemen tended to refer to Brado's majesties of Baroque interiors than the fidelity and grace of its Rococo counterpart. However, there were some elements which made Roman Rococo relatively distinguished, such as the Peru cabinets made for Pope Pius VI, which were not too rich lacquer work, Japanese and its generous themes pictures. Key elements of Rococo architecture: highly ornamental, decorative, and technical style. The set of essences, the natural world often emulate the look of cells, pebbles, flowers, birds, vines, and leaves. Angels, musical instruments, and typical Far Eastern imagery such as pagodas and dragons, freely using mixed wood types and tones, painted and unpainted, feature a light pastel palette like light pink, yellows, and blue. Included mirror glass to enhance the perceptions of space lights. Catherine Palace, Petersburg, Russia. Petersburg was one of the capital of Russia. Catherine Palace was constructed in mid-1700. The exteriors of Palace show several of key elements of Rococo design. The overall facade is a bright blue color, and there's an evidence of gold trim around all the fenestrations. Quilla's National Palace, Quilla's, Portugal, was constructed by King Peter III of Portugal in the mid-1700s. Palace is known of its impressive collections of Rococo-style fountains, many of which depict different details from Roman and Greek mythology. St. George Munich, Bavaria, Germany's Arndt brothers were well-established artists and craftsmen within the German city of Munich during the mid-18th century. St. George is a great example of the many works of Rococo architecture found in Munich and the rest of Bavaria. Both the interior and exterior of the church contain all of the typical elements from the Rococo age, including gold leaf, extravagant details, and many works of Rococo structure. Zweifelden Abbey, Zweifelden, Germany. The current abbeys were constructed in the mid-1700s, and it had a strong connection with many Rococo buildings located in the nearby regions of Bavaria. The front facade of Zweifelden Abbey curved in several directions, and it contains a lot of the complicated geometries found in late Baroque and Rococo architectures. The interiors of the abbey contain many other elements from the Rococo style, including intricately carved detail, gold trim, and Rococo artwork. Although Rococo architecture was a relative short-lived style that lasts less than 100 years, it is still one of the major movements in architectural history. Rococo buildings took many of the aspects of Baroque architecture and greatly enhanced them, creating spaces that were incredibly grand, audacious, and inspiring. Rococo architecture can be found in many of the world's largest palaces, and it is a style that is synonymous with the autonomous rule at most 18th century monarchies. The lavish of the Rococo age would eventually lead to major social and political change in Europe.